Hey, y'all. Kentucky, y'all.
If you haven't done this one. Okay, go ahead and check out Randy. Randy.
Hey.
Cool. And then we'll do the grow room once you finish up.
What time is this go till?
I don't know.
Okay. 8?
Ish.
Okay. I think I'm going to run out of keef. We will find out. All right, so welcome, y'all. How's everybody doing? I'm doing fantastic, thank you. My name's Randy. I am the cannabis cultivation professor as well as the extraction professor, which is where we are right now. We're in the extraction lab. If you have not checked out the cultivation lab, when you get over there, did you come from there? Okay, so you're going there next, sweet. So you get to see my plants. They're getting ready to come down to harvest. Basically, the idea is we're going to harvest them down. We're going to chop them down.
A little bit in here, you guys can...
Yeah, squeeze on in. No one going to bite. But basically what we're going for is we take a product. So when we cut all of our weed down, we dry it, we hang it, we cure it. We're left with a dry product. I'm sure all of y'all have smoked or have seen some kind of flower one way or another. But has anybody done dabs or extracts or carts, salves, balms, tinctures, all that? Well, that is where this class comes in. That is where we'll teach you how to take this product, which is your flower, your raw material, and turn it into a processed material, whether it be dry sift, whether it be rosin, keef, BHO, shatter, crumble, CO2, just distillate, whatever it is. That's where extraction comes in. How to take that product and refine it down to an even more potent product. Not to mention what it can do medically for benefits, but also extraction can make you a lot of money if you do it right. Extraction is where the money is at. So we're gonna fill the dry sift here into a 25 micron bag. Basically, I'm gonna spill it all over my hands if I do it that way. But basically, so this is dry sift or keef or bubble or dry ice hash, whatever you want to call it. They're all kind of the same shit, or same stuff, sorry. Basically, you'll pack that into your bag here. When you're doing dry sift or keef rosin specifically, you want to make sure you use a 25 micron or small size bag. So the smaller the number, the smaller the screen holes. But you want to make sure you use a smaller one because there's less plant material, but the plant material is broke up more, so it'll pass through the screen easier. So if you use a 90 or a 110 or a 220 bag, your rosin's going to look really like greenish. That's what you want to avoid. Does it smell like weed in here? I can't even tell anymore. Yeah. I'm immune to the smell of weed.
Said I've been working here for too long.
Yeah.
I'm immune to weed, so don't get to where I'm at.
Yeah. Shit, I put...
Bro, I smoke so much, it's insane.
All right, so basically, are there more people coming in? Oh, no, we're good. So basically, you'll fill your rosin bag. You want to pack it a little full. I use about 10 grams at a time in these. But the important part, you ever roll a joint? You know when you go to roll your joint, switch or blunt, whatever, if you have a shitty fold or a crease, it's going to, it's not going to hit right. You're going to pull air, whatever. It's the same concept with the rosin bags. It's not for the fact you're trying to smoke it, but for the fact that if I just piled it in there like this, look at all that clump right there. That big clump is just going to start gathering oil, and that's not going to pass through the screen because it's layered up on top of each other. So you want to make sure you get as close to your material as possible, and you fold it down. That way you have a nice, smooth crease. The smoother the crease, the better. I'll send this around. So if you take my classes in person, cultivation, cut all the flower down that you're going to go see. They hung it, they dried it, and then my extraction class came in and we extracted it. I had about this much keef out of what we made, but we've made a bunch of it now, and then I used it in extraction yesterday in my class, blah, blah, blah. But here is what we made. Feel free to smell that too and send it around. It actually turned out really well. That's dry sift or dry ice. I don't do bubble hash here just because, like, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, dude. It's a lot of work, and we only got 2 hours, and it takes about 2 hours to make one batch.
So what's in that jar? That's what's in the, from the bag?
From them bags, yep. We grew all that and extracted it. So when you put if you're doing rosin, and you fold your parchment in half, it's not arts and crafts. It does not have to be perfect on the cutting length, whatever. But I will tell you what is important is that crease on your bag, and you do not want your bag to be all the way in the bottom or the back of the paper, because if it's pushed all the way against you, when the rosin pushes out, it will fall out of the side. So you want to leave a little bit of gap in the back. But then you got your rosin press right here. And then basically, so what we got here is we got a hot plate on top and a hot plate on the bottom. I'll spin it down right here with the unit, and as that hot plate comes down and it'll make contact with it, I'll let it sit for 10, 20 seconds, or 20, 30 seconds, and then I'll crank it down about another third, and then I'll crank it down a third until it's all the way down after about another 30 seconds, 40 seconds. But you just gradually want to increase the pressure, but you always want to leave the heat the same. So I like to...
The hot part is the red brick looking parts.
Yep, turn into rosin. Yep. Yeah, so these, those are hot, but the hot plate is the metal part underneath the red. It's just red, just to warn you not to touch it.
Right.
But, so you'll crank her down. There we go. Go about a third of the way. Set your timer. So I run at 180, just for food for thought. THC will evaporate at 220. So if you want to stay under the 220, 200 degrees, and you want to do this quickly, if you have a cold plate, something to put it on chili or stick it in the freezer, absolutely want to. Terps are what we consider volatile. They evaporate at room temp. So the cooler your room can be, this right now, way too hot. I would never want to make my product in here. I wouldn't want this many people, no offense. I wouldn't want this much heat going all the time. I would have that thing cranking down, and 90% of you'd be like, hell no, I'm not standing in here. It'd be 50 degrees. You'd be having coats on and gloves. But that is a true extraction room, has to be cold. So after I get 30 seconds or so in, yep, I'll crank it down about to halfway, 3/4 of the way, let it sit for a little longer, and then at about 115 or so, 110. There are numbers behind it, but I'll tell you each strain is going to respond a little differently as well as your product. So with this stuff, I don't go fully as long as it says to, just because I like to get pressure on it before anything. All right, so just crank down. Now, we watch. Ding, 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 ding. Oh yeah, she's juicing. All right, and then if you guys want, feel free to come in here. Look, I'll send it all around, but it's still cool to see. I don't know if it's gonna make it all the way down. I hope it does. It should if I speed it up like that. There we go. I can make it run. It's gonna work. She gonna rip. Feel free to come around and look, but you'll see all the rosin coming out of the bag, all that hash that's being left behind. And basically when it comes out, this is what we'll be left with. A big old glob of wax.
Yeah.
Yep, if anybody have ever had cold cured live rosin, well not resin, sorry, live rosin, single source rosin, that stuff that's like 80 to 100 a gram or 60 a gram, that's rosin for you. It's expensive. That is why we're here. That is extraction for you. There would not be an industry if there was no cultivation and extraction team. Extraction makes everything possible. Well, I should say cultivation makes everything possible for extraction, and then extraction makes everything possible for you, for I, and all the patients. If there was no extraction, there would be no distillate, there wouldn't be carts, there wouldn't be solves, there wouldn't be bombs or balms. If there was no rosin, there would be no dabs. If there was no BHO extraction, there would be no dabs. If there was no flour, there would be none of that. So it all starts in my 2 labs. It starts there in cultivation, and then we come here, and then we give everybody a job. That is why we are important as cultivators and extractors. That is the one thing I can teach you, is to know your worth in this industry, especially when it comes to this. Don't let people tell you that, oh, weed is weed. No, Weed is not weed. Terps matter. THC, yes, THC matters, but CBN, CBG, CBD, all of those, that full spectrum, that entourage effect, that is what matters. And without that, again, extractors, cultivators, none of this would exist. Without somebody being able to grow the flower to be able to make this kind of stuff, I wouldn't even be able to. I myself would not be standing here telling you this. It all starts from that plant. It all starts from a seed. It all comes from the dirt or water, but you know what I mean. But yeah, so after that, we got your nice patty running. We'll take her out. Dink. There she is. Look at that. Wow, that actually turned out really good. Look how yellow that is. I'm getting better. It's almost like I've done this 100 times today already. But yeah, basically, so you guys see, your patties are looking, I mean, that's probably off 10 grams, or that's probably 2 grams of wax, which ain't horrible, especially considering what we put in.
So I have a question. What do you do after, what do you use with the rest of the herbs after you've already pressed it?
Well, there's a few things you can do. I'll be honest with you, I throw it away. That's just me. Even if this were weed, I would just throw it away. I'm not a baker. But if Sue wants them, I will give them to her, and she can throw them in coconut oil, soy lecithin, whatever, however you pronounce it. You can put it in butter. You can do whatever. For me, I'm not wasting my time on it. I'm not a baker.
Edibles, all kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm not messing with them.
That's why you have a maker on speed dial. Here, take this.
I'm not an edible guy. I got a bunch of them sitting in my fridge.
Decarboxylated form.
Yeah.
It's decarboxylated.
It is, once you heat it up. Yeah, so that's important. You'll hear him say the term decarboxylation or decarbed. If you're ever trying to bake with anything, if you've ever made edibles and they just didn't work, you put butter in them, you had a harvest or whatever, you took weed and they just weren't that strong compared to like a medical shelf one, is because they're not decarboxylized. Decarboxylation is the process of converting THCA or THC acid into THC. So basically, fanciness, for simplicity terms, imagine a master lock and a key, right? You have your master lock, you put a key in it, sometimes it fits, sometimes it doesn't. Doesn't mean it unlocks it. You want that right key to unlock it and open it. If you don't decarboxylate it, it will not pass your brain barrier. It will not get through the receptors that allow your body to absorb it and use it. So you need to decarboxylate it and drop that acid chain off of it and convert it through decarboxylation, convert carbon molecule, yes, that is extremely important, no matter what. But basically, rosin picks up super easy. I know, like, if you've seen this before, if you've ever had dabs, it can be a big old pain in the butt trying to pick these up. These just literally pull right up. Yep, and then this is a solventless form too. Solvents are going to be your hydrocarbons. This is not a hydrocarbon. This is just through heat and pressure. Hydrosol is water steam distillation, and hydrosol is actually the only form of it that is of water extraction that is not considered solventless, because actually in that regard, steam is actually the dissolver.
Hi guys, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. We're gonna be, so you guys, if you need an extra punch and you're ready to go, I can punch it at the door. They're gonna come in here, so there will be still a few more minutes if you want to hit another room, but we're gonna be winding down soon. So
All is well.
if you want another punch, I will be at the front for you guys to go. And then
Yeah, and that's what I recommend you guys. Real quick, before she takes you, if you take my class in person, I highly recommend it. We get to do a lot of hands-on stuff. I show you everything good. Not to mention, I've worked in the industry a bunch. So I've been in the industry for about 15 years. I've been cultivating for 15, 16 years. Been in Ohio for about 5 or 6 working in it. So I've been all around. I've been everywhere. Not only will I be able to teach you everything you need to know to get growing and extracting professionally, but I will point you in the right direction to be a turnkey employee in any facility or anywhere you want to go work, whether it be for yourself or for a commercial facility. I will make it to where you're a valuable employee or a valuable boss to yourself. And I promise I'll save you money. I own my own consulting company, so one thing I teach them is how they're screwing up, how to stop screwing up, and how to save them money and make even more money. So if you take my class, I promise you, you will leave with a much better concept on that as well. I look forward to seeing everybody in it. Seriously.
So,
Yeah.
everybody, you saying the right words.
Yeah, I wanted to hear
I
that
have to
too.
use what in-house classes I do, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to do it online with a bunch of.
I feel you.
Coming to jig with you.
All right.
Yeah.
What do you suggest?
I gotta tell 'em I'm
I wanna
completely
do-
new to
'cause
this.
I
I wanna
know
show
how
'em-
to do
I wanna show 'em
flash
my
extraction back home.
Yeah.
But like that's all I do. So I wanna come in and learn the other side. Growing,
Yeah.
it's not too much work, but I got two of the best growers on my team, so I don't need that.
Okay.
So I'm gonna come see you on this one.
Yeah, man. Seriously, come check us out. I recommend the executive program too,
That's the
because
one I'm going for.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking. Kentucky goes medical 2025, getting ahead of the curve, and I live here in the West.
yep. Heck yeah, man. Come see us.
Of course, for sure.